Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sansara saroga vinitani sam sannita satam sucisara desam sanderakang sonna tanum pelasam Sanglapadesing paname bisasam Samanta cakkavalesu atra gaccantu devatam Saddammang munirajassa sunantu sagga mokkadam Dhammasavana kalo ayam badanta Dhammasavana kalo ayam badanta Dhammasavana kalo ayam badanta Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Saddha balang viriya balang hiriyottamtiyang balang Sati balang samadhica panyabe santamang balang Etehi balava bhikkhu sukhang jivati pandito Homage to the exalted one, the worthy one, the perfectly enlightened one. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear friends in the Dhamma, today we are going to discuss one of the important discourses which comes in Anguttara Nikaya named Vitthatabala Sutta. Here it is discussed what are the strengths, energies that we should acquire in our life. These are the real strengths. There are 7 strengths which are discussed here. They are Saddha Balang. Saddha means confidence in Buddha's enlightenment. Virya Balang. Virya means energy. Hiri Balang. Hiri means shame of doing evil. Ottappa Balang. Ottappa means fear of committing sin or doing sin. Sati Balang. Sati means mindfulness. Samadhi Balang, tranquility or concentration. Panya Balang, wisdom. These are the real strengths that we should develop day by day in our life in the name of real happiness on the path of liberation. The very first thing is confidence, faith. What is the confidence that we should develop in our life on the path of liberation? We should have a confidence what Buddha said. It doesn't mean that we should worship Buddha or we should respect Buddha. Buddha didn't accept that we should respect him physically. But Buddha asked us, be confident what we say. And also Buddha says us, come and see. Buddha doesn't say that come and believe. First, we should open our eyes, ears, with open mind. And we should listen to what Buddha taught, and also we should think whether it can be applied in our day-to-day life in the name of inner peace. When we search Buddha's message that he analyzed, discovered and proclaimed in the world, that Buddha's wisdom can be divided into two, as we discuss always. Wisdom or intelligence can be divided into two. What they are? The understanding of the karmic law and the understanding of impermanence or the dependent origination. Day by day, we should improve this understanding. As much as we have this understanding, we are hurried to go on this path and we are hurried to achieve a result. The reason is that we know this is the real success in our life. Even though we are very rich, even though we are well educated, even though we have a lot of relatives, actually they can't help us to go away from suffering. Even though we have a lot of relatives, when we are angry, when our mind is lustful, actually they can't bring us happiness. Happiness we create by ourselves in our mind. Happiness depends on how far we have purified our mind from negative thoughts. What are the thoughts? What are the emotions that disturb our peace of mind? Yes, there are three major unwholesome emotions that disturb our peace of mind. One of them is craving, lust or desire. The next one is anger or ill will. The third one is delusion or ignorance. Delusion is the center of all defilements or unwholesome emotions. As much as we can reduce delusion, at that level our all other defilements go away, reduce. How do we improve how do we reduce delusion?
Increasing our knowledge.
Yes, one of them is increasing our knowledge, understanding, right view, right point of view, samadhi. How do we improve our right understanding, samadhi?
Discussion.
Yes, listening, discussion, meditating, chanting. These are the places, these are the doors where we apply, where we improve our knowledge. And here we should have good awareness, mindfulness. That is very important. When we listen to Buddha's message, we understand the nature of the karmic law. Whatever we do with intention, we will have the same results. When our mind is polluted, the results are negative, evil. When our mind is pure, the results are fruitful, blissful, helpful, useful. in that situation, we always keep our mind away from craving and anger. We are aware of our mind. That is one of the meditation techniques, Chittanupassana. We always aware of our physical body. What happens to my body? What is the nature of my body? My body consists of 4 fundamental elements. And when we reflect on this reality to our body, when we meet a person, we apply that knowledge to other persons. Then our anger, lust go away. When we think the nature of our body, which happens after death, we think again and again, what happens to my body after death? One day, it becomes dust. When we reflect on this reality again and again, our desire, craving, or attachment to the body gradually decreases. And also, when we think someone, when we remember someone, when we meet someone who is friendly or who is angry with us, as soon as we remember or meet someone, we apply this knowledge to that person. Then our craving and anger go away. That is why, first of all, we should contemplate on our body and mind. Then, when we think or meet someone, we apply that knowledge to that person. And we always take care of our mind. We are always ready to take care of our children, our pets, our clothes, our house, our car. But we are not ready to take care of our mind, which is the main reason that brings us real happiness. By practicing Dhamma, we take care of our mind. We don't give the chances to external objects to steal our inner peace, disturb our inner peace, because we have kept watchers, guards in our 6 senses. As soon as we see something, as soon as we hear something, guards or watchers are here. He reminds us that this is impermanent. Then we can recognize anything. We are not stupid. Actually, we are intelligent. We can recognize anything. If we can recognize something, it is a big mistake. We can recognize anything, no, any person. But throughout this recognizing, we understand the bottom level of this experience. With this intention, with this mindfulness and intelligence, when I meet you, I understand you are Mr. And also, I recognize you are consist of 4 fundamental elements. And also, finally, I understand when I open my eyes, inside my 5 aggregates have arisen. That experience immediately arises and ceases. Then my mind immediately fixed in equanimity. We have no struggles. Our mind is so calm and quiet. Whenever we are away from mindfulness, then we have no this inner peace. If we want the real inner peace, from moment to moment, we increase this ability, which brings us real happiness. In the first level of karmic law, that the first level of intelligence or wisdom is karmic law. When we understand the karmic law, we always try to away from anger and desire. And also in the second level, when we are aware of, when we are knowledgeable about the dependent origination, the impermanence, we try to overcome delusion, which is the main reason which brings us suffering with anger and craving. And also, when we have this understanding, we always try to develop good karmas, wholesome karmas, physically, verbally and mentally. We always ready to offer something to others. Our mind is generous. And also we see other people like my children. When we meet other people, we have no struggle. We are friendly. We think these people are my friends and relatives. Especially when we have the understanding of the karmic law. All of people in the world were my close relatives and friends. Buddha says, there is no one who was not your mother or father or your son or daughter in the previous lives. Everyone who is in the world was one of our close relatives in our samsaric journey. If we have this understanding, we always see other people like our children. We are always ready to help others. We always practice compassion. We are ready to help others when other people are suffering. With this understanding. And also finally we understand the final solution of getting rid of suffering is that increasing, improving the understanding of impermanence, the dependent origination. When we have this understanding, we practice it and we see the results. When we see the results throughout practicing this message in our life, then our confidence in Buddha's enlightenment gradually increases. It doesn't mean that we should always worship Buddha. The confidence where we should practice is understanding Buddha's knowledge, Buddha's understanding, Buddha's discovery. And what Buddha realized, discovered and proclaimed, the impermanence. What is the impermanence? Our eyes are impermanent. Our eye is impermanent. What is the meaning of our eye is impermanent? Our eye is alive when forms are here, when consciousness are here, when lights are here, when all of them are together. At the moment my eyes is alive. My eyes doesn't continue always. It arises and ceases. And every moment I is a new one. And also when I hear something, my ears are alive at the moment. My ears are alive when sounds are here. When sounds are not in outside, how about my ears? my ears are dead. When I don't see forms, my eyes are dead. At one moment, one sense acts, then other 5 are dead. But because of the speed of these 6 senses, we may think that all of them are together. Always my 6 senses are active. But at once only one sense are active, then others are dead. However, the intelligence depends on ours, that how far we are clever to understand this reality and how far we practice this reality in our life. Again and again, when we practice this impermanence and our desire and anger gradually increase. For example, sometimes you have seen some switch that it is not like that dot switch. There are some switch which we can ආලෝකය අඩු වැඩි කරන්න පුළුවන්. There are some lights we can lower and higher. Yes. Practicing impermanence also like that. When we practice impermanence, then other lights. What are the other lights? Anger, desire, jealousy, those things go down. When delusion or ignorance go down, other defilements also go down. On the other side, when we improve the light of wisdom, then other qualities, compassion, loving kindness, sympathetic joy, generosity, other things go up. That is the nature of our life. In this situation, when we go forward with this understanding, little by little, our confidence in Buddha's enlightenment increases, and also our energy, effort, or courage gradually increases. What is the reason? Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo. The Dhamma which is explained by the Buddha is well expounded. Sanditiko, visible results. Akaliko, immediately effective. Ehipassiko, we can say anyone come and see. Opanayiko, leading onward. Pacchattam veditabbo vinyohi, that Dhamma is to be realized by the wise. These are the qualities which Dhamma has. Then our confidence in Buddha's enlightenment increases, and also at the same time our confidence in Buddha's message gradually increases, and also at the same time the confidence in Buddha's noble disciples gradually increases. 3 refuge. On the other side, in our lifetime, mostly we remember these 3 things. You know, when you remember someone who has helped you a lot, your mind is so pure and calm, you are so happy. When you remember your best friend who has a lot of qualities, you are so happy. You are ready to accept him. You are waiting until he comes. When he calls you that, I am coming, my friend, I am coming tomorrow, then you get ready, you prepare some food, something for him. Actually, when we go forward on this spiritual path, our best friends are the Buddha, his teachings, and his noble disciples. We always remember their qualities. We are live with them. We are not away from them. Actually, they are in our spiritual world. Whenever we think them, our mind is filled with happiness. And also our courage, dedication, day by day improve. You know, when we sleep sometimes early, but when we have this understanding, we get some time, 1 hour, where we practice Dhamma. We increase the time that we practice Dhamma. When we practice Dhamma, it is more beneficial than we sleep. Whenever we practice Dhamma, it is happier than we sleep. Then little by little, we decrease the time that we sleep. Because day by day we are awakening with wisdom. That is the second one, energy or virya. The third one, hiri. Hiri means, what is the hiri? Hiri means shame. When we have some mistake, when our mind invites to do some negative deeds, unwholesome deeds, we are shy. It is not good. Such a person like me, I don't do it. Because the reason that we practice awareness, mindfulness, then Buddha says, when you say something, you should think it again and again whether it is correct. When you speak something, reflect on it again and again whether it is correct. When you think something, contemplate on whether it is correct or not. We do everything, physically, verbally and mentally, reflecting on it again and again whether it is correct. At the same time, Vitthatabala, we are afraid of doing sin. We are afraid of doing bad deeds. Because we know very well, if I do something, I will have bad results, evil results. As intelligent persons, we don't like it. We like happiness. We never hate happiness. That is why we are afraid of doing bad deeds with a polluted mind. We always keep our mind calm, quiet and pure. Those are the strengths. And the fifth one, sati. Sati is discussed in various places, in various steps, several steps. At the primary level, when we practice sati or mindfulness, we do it in primary level, that we don't think our past or future. We try to keep our attention in the present moment by practicing breathing meditation, keeping our attention around the nose. When we breathe in, we think that now I am breathing in. When I breathe out, I am thinking now I am breathing out. I keep my full attention around the nose at the present moment with mindfulness. When my mind goes past or future, suddenly I bring it to the object. and little by little I improve the duration of practicing mindfulness, living in the present moment. That is the first step of practicing mindfulness. Then, little by little, we are going to the deeper level. When we practice mindfulness again and again, we are aware of our body and mind. What happens to my mind and body? We are aware of our body and mind. When we do something physically, we are aware of that. When you are sitting, you are aware of that. Now I am sitting. When I am standing, I am aware of that. Now I am standing. When we walk, we do it with awareness. And when we eat something, when we talk with someone, we do everything with awareness. Physically and verbally, if we do something, we think it. We are aware of it. And also, furthermore, we apply mindfulness in four positions, four places where Kayanupassana, Vedanupassana, Chittanupassana, Dhammanupassana, fourfold mindfulness. Now, gradually, we are going to deeper level. Now, I contemplate on my all activities in my body. Four fundamental elements, breathing in and out, four postures, doing everything, and some parts of my body like hair, skin, blood, nails, skeleton, those are the things I contemplate on. We separate them mentally. When we separate those hairs, blood, those things, those parts of our life, body, then we understand there is not a certain person, there is no ego, no soul. When those parts are together, we say, this is the person who is my friend. But when we remove some hair or some blood or some nails, we never say, this is Mr., this is Mrs., we never say. However, when all of them are together, we say, this is a lady, this is a gentleman, this is a baby, we say that. When we contemplate on four fundamental elements, which consist of our physical body, when we separate those things mentally, we understand there is not a certain person here. Our body is the combination of these four fundamental elements. Then our anger and lust go away. Gradually, our inner peace increases. We contemplate on fourfold mindfulness. One of them is the contemplating on physical body, the contemplating on feelings, contemplating on consciousness, contemplating on mental formations. We are aware of my mind. Now I am angry. Now my mind is lustful. Now I am jealous. We don't struggle with our mind, but we recognize what happens to my mind. When we recognize the mental situation, we can't leave those negative thoughts, negative mental conditions. For example, when you are angry, if I ask, are you angry now? Then you are shy, you laugh, you show that you are not angry. Here also like that. When we recognize, now my mind is angry, now my mind is lustful, then suddenly those negative conditions goes away. That is why we reflect on, that is why we should be aware of. And also mental formations, that good and bad, our emotions. Then we have hindrances, 5 hindrances, like sensual desire, anger, doubt, restlessness. These are the things which disturb our peace of mind. Here, in this level, we fight with them. When we recognize some negative thoughts, we fight with them and we defeat them. We try to go away from them. But in this level, we don't fight. We are like observers. This is the difference of Chittanupassana and Dhammanupassana. In Chittanupassana, we contemplate on consciousness or Chitta. Dhammanupassana, we contemplate on mental formations. This is like water, this is like tea, coffee, sugar, other things. And also not the negative thoughts, but here we contemplate on positive thoughts such as 7 enlightenment factors. Satta-bojjhanga, sati, mindfulness, Dhamma-vicaya, keen investigation, virya, energy. Again we meet the same things, same qualities that we are discussing here. Actually these doctrines, these teachings can be combined in many places. For example, here we are discussing mindfulness. Sometimes we discuss mindfulness in fourfold mindfulness, eightfold path. Sometimes we discuss mindfulness in 4 spiritual faculties, panchendriya. According to the audience, Buddha has explained these qualities in some levels. But however, day by day, when we are in the knowledge of the dependent origination, all qualities increase. That is the nature of understanding of the dependent origination. Throughout listening to Dhamma, throughout meditation, we always try to improve sati and sampajanya. Buddha's all doctrines can be included into 2. Sati, sampajanya. Sati means mindfulness, sampajanya means wisdom. Again Buddha says, all Buddhist doctrines can be included into 1, which is wisdom. What is the wisdom? Reflecting on impermanence. Whenever we reflect on impermanence, our all spiritual faculties gradually increase as much as you practice impermanence. At the same time, suffering gradually decrease. At the same time, 3 major unwholesome emotions, craving, anger, delusion, decrease. At the same time, our spiritual happiness gradually increase. And sati, when we go to the deeper level, sati, Actually, we reflect on impermanence. We reflect only impermanence. Only impermanence. What is impermanence? Always we reflect on the impermanence of five aggregates. Whatever we experience, it means five aggregates have arisen. Not only they arise, but immediately those five things cease. When we see this building, we think there are a lot of things here. But if someone who is expert to building construction, when he comes here, he knows everything which are here. He can see lights, he can see civilians, he can see these pictures throughout these walls. He can understand what is inside. We also should be like that. When we see a water, when we see a paper, when we see a person, when we see a table, we can recognize them. At the same time, immediately we understand the bottom level of our experience as five aggregates. When we recognize those things, be sure at that moment we are away from decay, death and rebirth. Whenever our mind is fixed in outside, recognizing as a certain person or thing in outside, even though we laugh with them, we are not away from decay, death and rebirth. Even though we are in a very beautiful, luxurious house, laughing, if we are ignorant, we are not away from suffering. We are with decay, death, sorrow and lamentation. Even though we are under a tree as a homeless person, if we have this higher contemplation, we are so lucky, we have spiritual happiness. We are away from suffering because we are looking inside. When other people are looking outside, like when we go to the mirror with our innocent pet, he is looking at there is someone here who is barking me. But here we are laughing to him. All people in the world who are ignorant, whose mind is fixed outside like that innocent pet. But we people who listening to Buddha's message are so fortunate. We know how suffering arises. Never be jealous others. Why? Nobody is happy in the world until they recognize this reality. Even though they have a lot of facilities, actually they are with decay, sickness, death and rebirth. They are suffering. Even though they have a lot of facilities, education, but they are with suffering. If you know Dhamma, you are never jealous. Because no one is happy in the world until they recognize, until they understand this reality. On the other side, don't blame anyone who has mistakes in their life. What is the reason? You have no right to blame them. Why is that? They don't know the reason how suffering arises like you know. If they know the Dhamma like you, they are better than you. In this situation, never criticize others, never blame others, never be jealous. If you know the Dhamma, your mind is in equanimity. You create a balanced mind among good and bad, honor and dishonor, blame and praise. We create a balanced mind. How nice when our inner peace day by day increases. We don't depend on outside. It doesn't mean that we don't do our duties and responsibilities in the name of our children or relatives. We do very well, better than we did before. But we never hope happiness or safety or freedom from them. We believe real happiness is inside. Happiness should be created myself. Nobody can bring me happiness. Not only happiness, be sure nobody can bring you suffering too. Nobody can brings you happiness, and also nobody can bring you suffering. Suffering or happiness arises according to my mental conditions. It doesn't mean that there are nothing outside. Outside there is something. What is that? 4 fundamental elements outside. We named persons, but there are only 4 fundamental elements. Day by day, we develop our real liberation. Nobody can bring us liberation. Liberation should be created, should be developed by ourselves. For that, listening to Dhamma, reflecting Dhamma, practicing Dhamma, all of them are very important. Not only listening to Dhamma, according to this understanding, think it again and again. While you are going back home, think it again and again. This is the reality. My eye is impermanent. My eyes arises at the moment when forms alive here. My ears alive when sounds are here. They are not certain. They are impermanent. Sound didn't wait until you hear it. Sound arises at the moment. Like that sound, our all experience also like that. They are impermanent. They are not stopped or any place. They are impermanent. It means they arise when our internal senses arise. When we improve this understanding, when we are in mindfulness, then our concentration gradually increases. We try to practice some concentration meditation techniques, such as breathing meditation, loving kindness meditation, the contemplating on Buddha's qualities, These are the meditation techniques that we practice in the name of happiness, inner peace. We try to develop the duration that we practice samatha meditation. Every day we practice meditation at least 5 minutes per day. Day by day we increase it. 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes. Little by little we increase it. We are very happy when we practice meditation. Not only sit in meditation. Whenever you start your car, you start to practice loving kindness meditation, breathing meditation. At the same time, if you are more intelligent, you directly go to the bottom level. What is the bottom level? You contemplate on impermanence. My eye is impermanent. Forms are impermanent. Ears are impermanent. Sounds are impermanent. We are in this higher contemplation on impermanence. This is the way that we increase our spirituality very fast. Because we directly fight with ignorance, which is certainty. We directly fight with the worst enemy, who is delusion or ignorance. Our final war with delusion, our final game with ignorance, our real victory depends on how far we have reduced delusion. What is the delusion? Delusion can be explained in various ways. One of them is that we think when we experience something, before we experience something, those things, those conditions were here. After experience, we may think that those things remain here. For example, your innocent pet, he may think that before he goes to the mirror, someone was there. After he leaves the mirror, he still thinks that the person is there, I will come back to see him. We are also like that. We left house, now you are waiting to go back. And it doesn't mean that there are nothing outside. According to conventional truth, there are something outside. Your children, your parents, your goods, everything you can see according to conventional truth. Buddhism never says there are nothing outside. There is something outside. But only for fundamental elements. We create persons, we create children, we create food, goods, blackboard, we create those things. According to conventional truth. But in the ultimate truth, there are only 4 fundamental elements. When we see this reality, we have nothing to attach or disattach. We create an unshaken mind. We create a balanced mind. We always keep our mind in equanimity. Then mind is concentrated. Immediately we reflect on the world reality as it is, which is impermanence. Panya. Panya is the 7th strength. We start this spiritual journey with right understanding. What is the right understanding that we start with? We start this spiritual journey with the understanding of the dependent origination, the impermanence. Our final destination is that reflecting on impermanence. We do everything to reflect on impermanence. You know, as an educated person, your final goal is having your doctorate. That is your dream. That is your final goal. That is your parents' goal. On this spiritual journey, our final goal is reflecting on impermanence and getting rid of suffering completely.
So isn't that Four Noble Truths also the start of the journey?
Please say again.
The Four Noble Truths, is that also starting the journey?
Yes. Before we start this journey, we should have clear understanding about the Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths or dependent origination or impermanence. We can say it in various ways. But finally we understand suffering. Understanding is the suffering, is the map of this spiritual journey. How suffering arises. Whenever you are suffering, it means you think that still it is happening, that you experience. When you are unhappy, whenever you are worried, it means you are thinking something which happened in the past and you think that thing is certain. For example, when somebody has blamed you, when you think that incident, you think that person is still in the same way, same situation when he blamed you. And also you still think that sound is still happening. That is why when you remember that incident with ignorance, you are blamed again. That person can blame you once. Your ignorance invites you to blame again and again. You are blamed again and again by your ignorance. But a person can blame you once. A person can blame you once. When we are ignorant, we are blamed again and again. And panya means samahito bhikkhave yatha bhutam bhajanati. Buddha says, when mind is concentrated with the understanding of the dependent origination, we reflect on impermanence as soon as mind is concentrated. For example, when you go to a country by a flight, by a plane, as soon as you go to the destination, you don't stay further. You are hurried to get down, go away from the plane. Even though you have paid a lot of money to your flight, for your flight ticket, you are not ready to stay there after plane is landed. This journey also like that. As soon as our mind is concentrated, we don't stop in concentration. As much as mind is concentrated, we are ready to reflect on impermanence. It is like going away from the plane when you reach the destination. When you reach the destination, even though you have paid a lot of money for the air ticket, even though you are paid again, even though you are given some money again, you are never ready to stay furthermore. It is difficult to keep you in the flight after you reach the destination. even though you receive a lot of money. As soon as you reach the destination, you are hurried to go away from the plane. We are also like that. As much as our mind is concentrated, we are hurried to reflect on impermanence. We are like that. Then here it is very, very important, mindful objects, sati nimitta. Mindful object means be sure, always keep your attention here, whether you meditate or not. Whatever you do, be sure to keep your awareness here in this area. When you eat, when you look at something, when you do something, do everything keeping your attention here. Then you are not away from meditation. Every moment you are improving your mindfulness. This is the place where we should apply mindfulness. And here in the Vitthatabala Sutta, Vittata means wide, vast. Bala means strength or energy. Sutta means discourse. Here, the 7 strengths are discussed. They are confidence in Buddha's enlightenment. Virya means energy to go forward on this spiritual path, avoiding negative thoughts and improving positive thoughts. Hiri means shame to do evils or sins, and Ottappa means fear of doing evil. Sati means our best friend, mindfulness. Samadhi means concentration or tranquility. Panya means wisdom. What is the wisdom? Reflecting on impermanence, which happens every moment. The very, very important sentence in Buddhism, not being occurred comes to occurrence. Being occurred will not go to occurrence. Ahutva sambhutam hutva nabhavisati. Not being occurred comes to occurrence. Being occurred will not go to occurrence. Like this sound. This sound didn't come to present from the past. This present sound will not go to future. When conditions are together, this sound arises, and immediately when conditions separate, the experience ceases. Sound ceases. Our all experience that we receive through our 6 senses also like that. Think it again and again. This is the reality. Whenever you think this reality, your mind is away from attachment and anger. And finally, you are reducing, you are destroying the strength of delusion every moment. Our final game is with ignorance, delusion. Our final victory is with wisdom, opanya. Yes?
With confidence in Buddhist enlightenment.
With?
The first one.
Confidence.
So, I have, in my own experience, I don't think necessarily of Buddha. I think of you, so when I practice or study or contemplate, whether it's feelings or mindfulness, whatever, I think of teachers. I don't generally think directly of Buddha all the time.
Yes, throughout those teachers, we trust in Buddha's understanding. Throughout my sermon, you trust in Buddha's enlightenment. You don't trust me. Throughout my sermon, finally, you trust in Buddha's enlightenment. Even though I have a mistake, you never worry. If you are confident in Buddha's understanding that I explain you, even though I have a big mistake, you never stop that you are coming here. And also the thing is, confidence is like having a map. When you go to a place, never you have gone, first of all, you should have a confidence in the address. But when you reach the destination, you put away your address. You don't need the confidence in address, because now you are experienced. Our confidence also like that. First, we should have free confidence until we reach the destination. When we reach the destination, it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be confident furthermore. For example, when Buddha's time, sometimes some persons listening to Buddha's message, as soon as they listening to Buddha's message, because they had developed their spirituality to the maximum level, suddenly they realize Dhamma and suddenly they attain enlightenment. After that they went away. Sometimes they didn't worship Buddha. But until we reach destination, we should follow some qualities. We should follow some skill. We should practice some inner virtues. If we have no qualities, actually it is very difficult to receive this message. If you are not generous, you are not here. If you have no good attention, you don't hear this one. If you have higher contemplation that I am the person, I should not listen to anyone because I have this kind of degrees, then you never listening to Dhamma. Because of a lot of qualities that already you have, you are here. In the same way, until we reach the final destination, we have to practice some qualities. We should be humble. We should be generous. We should have good attention. We should be grateful. If we don't have these qualities, actually we miss this message. But after we reach the destination, it doesn't need to practice more qualities. But as intelligent persons, we furthermore keep our good qualities, because when we show some qualities, other people are confident in our behavior, then it is very easy to give some message to them. That is why even Arahantas have practiced some good qualities. For example, you have heard about Arahant Kashyapa, Mahakashyapa. Reverend Mahakashyapa, Arahat Mahakashyapa was the person who practiced some very difficult virtues. After he attained enlightenment, Buddha advised him, Kashyapa, you don't need to practice those very difficult virtues furthermore, because now you are Arahanta. Then, what Arahant Mahakasyapa has said to Buddha? Bhante, I decided to practice these qualities furthermore for the benefits of others. For example, for others. I would like to be an example to others who wants to practice this message. That is why he has practiced those qualities furthermore. Okay, thank you so much for your good attention. And day by day we discuss very special things. If you participate to the class continuously, regularly, you can catch a lot of special things. I think Mr. Prananda is so lucky. Sometimes you are luckier than our other people who donate a lot of money here. You are the person who gets the real benefits throughout these facilities, because you are so fortunate. I bless all of you. Okay. Now we are going to transfer these merits that we acquired at the moment to our beloved departed relatives. By the power of all these merits, may our departed relatives who wish merits from us may receive these merits, and may they enhance their spiritual energy. May they have a better life. Finally, may they also attain final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's transfer these merits to our departed relatives. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. By the power of all these merits, may guardian deities and angels also receive these merits. By receiving these merits, may they enhance their divine spiritual energy, and may they also attain final bliss of liberation. May they keep their eye on you too. With that intention, let's transfer these merits to guardian deities and angels too. Ākāsattā ca bummattā devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā cirang rakkantu sāsanam. Ākāsattā ca bummattā devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā cirang rakkantu desanam. Ākāsattā ca bummattā devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā cirang rakkantu tvaṃ sadā. By the power of all these merits, may you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no problems come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may your all righteous wishes meet with success. Finally, may all of us attain final bliss of liberation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dukkham pantā ca niddukkha, bhayam pantā ca nidbhaya, sokam pantā ca nissokā, hontu sabbe pipānino. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.